Okay, if you could, let's go on and take a seat, and we'd like to get started again. We're running just a little bit behind. Thank you. I know this is a lot of sitting, but this is what these things are all about. So, I think we're going to take home some really good things from this. So, thank you. Next, I would like to introduce Carl McMullen, who is the Chief Officer of Publications at AQHA, and my understanding he's taken over the Journal and advertising at AQHA. So, here's Carl.
Thank you. Before we get started, I just want to take 1 minute and introduce myself. I want you guys to know that I'm very honored and excited to be a part of the AQHA team, to manage and work with our media team. We've got a great team, some very good products, but they can be better. So that's our goal. As with other areas of the association, we're constantly looking at ways to improve. We're making some exciting changes to the journal. So I'd be happy to visit with any of you guys about those changes and answer any questions or talk about those things if we get the opportunity. Some of you I know, a few of you I've had a chance to meet, but many of you I don't know, haven't had a chance to meet, so I look forward to getting to know you and helping you grow your business. Thank you.
Okay, our next presenter is Kimberly S. Brown. Kimberly has worked in the equine publishing for more than 35 years. She currently is the Associate Publisher Editor for the Equine Management brand owned by Active Interest Media that focuses on the business side of the equine industry. Kimberly started working at Blood Horse Publications in Kentucky in 1980. She spent almost 30 years there. The first 15 with the Blood Horse magazine, ending up as a contributing editor, and the second 15 developing The Horse, Your Guide to Equine Healthcare, as the publisher and editor. Kimberly retired from publishing to join Kentucky Equine Research as Global Marketing Manager. And while there, she led the team that created award-winning newsletters and videos, launched a new content-driven educational website, and developed an e-commerce site. She then ran her own marketing content development company, the Homestead Information Network. For a short time before accepting a full-time position at AIM's Equine Network in 2012. Kimberly and her musician husband Ben moved from Kentucky to Wyoming and are enjoying the outdoors, riding horses, camping, cycling, hiking, fishing, canoeing, and rock climbing. Please welcome Kimberly Brown.
Okay, that's too long for you and me. Hi. First, I'm going to get a little idea of who we've got out here, and you're going to have to raise your hands high. I am not worried about you not hearing me. I apologize to the videographer if I get a little loud. I get excited. So, how many people in here either train horses, give riding lessons, breed horses, sell horses, or are paid as a judge? Look around you. Everybody look around. Okay, leave your hands up. How many people who do any of those goods or services are making enough money that you don't need any more clients or jobs? Leave your hands up. That's why they brought me here today. So, what we're going to talk about is trying to come up, I'm going to give you some tips on some easy ways to improve your marketing and help you make more money. One more question before we get started. How many people in here? Now, I'm going to warn you. Everybody that signed up, I have notes on your websites, your social media, or lack thereof. So you can't lie to me. So, what I want to know is how many people either are responsible for or contribute to your own website or social media. Okay, how many people have a spouse or somebody else on your staff who does it for them? Okay, that's about half now. That's about normal. What I'm going to help you with today, if you do it yourself, I'm going to give you some tips to do it easier, simpler, that will make you more money and get you more clients. I'm also going to give you some tips that you can write down so that if you have somebody else doing it, you can go back and say, can you do this to my site or my social media? Okay? This is a discussion. So if I say something and you're like, what are you talking about, woman? Stop me and we'll talk about it. I'm going to go through some things in here so fast and statistics, don't worry about it. Okay? It's just to prove a point on some of these statistics. What you have to get to you is, what does the tip say? And is that one I want to write home? So I'm going to challenge everybody to take 1 or 2 tips out of the 30 or so we're going to go through and see if they can't help your business. You ready? Let's go. Okay, we went through all this. We don't need any more of that. Okay, why are we focusing? Why did they ask me to talk about digital? Because that's where your customers and potential customers are. There's people out there looking for you and what you can do for them that you don't know about, right? Also, it's easy to update. You have Wi-Fi in this hotel. You can work in the 10 minutes you were out there, you could have done some business, right? There's plenty of platforms. You pick what works best for you, right? It's quick, and you can become a star. Have you ever seen these guys who suddenly are getting 1 million hits on Facebook or on their YouTube channel or whatever, right? You can become a star and people you've never heard of are hearing about you. Bottom line, you can make more money by using your digital better, right? This is what we're here for. So, number 1, you have to have a good website. I went through everybody's websites here, and I will do the same thing the attorney did. If you would like me to talk to you individually about your website, my email is going to be up here. Patty's got my contact information. Get a hold of me, and I will sit down and talk to you. Or catch me out in the hall. I'm going to be here this evening. Catch me, and I will sit down, and we will pull your website up, and I'll give you some tips specifically for you. We're going to go over some generalities here. This is your number 1 thing. This is how people will find you when they don't know that they're looking for you, right? A website says who you are, what you do, what areas you serve. Do you only do your stuff in Texas? Are you all over the United States? Do you go abroad? What else do you do? And how to get in touch with you. You'd be surprised how many people think that you could go to your website on your home page without having to click off that home page and get your phone number or email or address. There's one right now, right? Okay. How do you know if your website's working? I'm going to go through this really quickly. But if you have either yourself or somebody else, it's good to look at this at least once every few months just to know, why do people try to find you and where they're coming from. It's called Google Analytics. So I don't know what Google is. This is free. I love free stuff. Basically, it gets on there and it tells you when are people coming to your site, what are they looking at, where do they come from, how many people are coming. And so let's say if you've got 275,000 people coming to your website, are you getting phone calls for people bringing to your stallions or wanting you to teach a clinic or getting you to judge in Finland? Right? It will tell you where these people are coming from. You say, okay, cool. You know, the dark states are the ones they're coming from most, right? California. Maybe you're based in Texas and all of a sudden you discover you've got a big following in California, right? So where in California do I have a big following? We can break it down by the city. So it's like, okay, well, why do I have a following in San Francisco? You know, did I teach a clinic there? Have I got somebody there? Was it an article that got reposted? I mean, what started that? How did they find me? Here's how they found you. They either did a search for what you do or who you are, or they came to you from some other ways, through your social media, or through your newsletters, or through one of your videos. And you can even say, okay, my social media, which one's working? If I'm using all these things, where should I really be putting my time? Because time is our most valuable commodity. And then you can go down and say, where did they go on my website? Because every single page on your website is a landing page. You never know where people are coming in. They may or may not come into your home page, right? Did you know that? Every single page on your website has to represent who you are, what you do, and how to get in touch with you. And then you can go again. You can look through all this. I'm not going to go. So basically, what this means is, how do customers find you? We talk about Google because they are the largest search engine out there. I mean, it's become a verb. I'm going to Google you, right? It's called search engine optimization, which means you can do things on your website and social media that make the Google little automated spiders and bots and the things that crawl through your website find you and like you, right? How many people in here have ever Googled yourself? Good! That's awesome. Because you need to know what people are seeing when they Google you. Okay, local searches. I didn't bring it up here because I'm being really good about my cell phone, but those little mobile computers that you carry around in your pocket, those are important to your business. Look at your website on your cell phone. If it isn't optimized for your cell phone, you're losing clients, right? Because local searches, 20% of them, here we go. I went through this really quick. I apologize for doing all this, but I can give a talk on each one of these slides. So almost 60% use them to find a local business. So if that mom is looking for somebody to give her kid a lesson, they're going to Google it. And do you show up on the first page? Because if you don't, you might as well not exist anywhere, right? 61%. Now we're talking about all kinds, not just horse stuff. Over 60% resulted in a purchase when they looked it up on that little computer that they carry in their hip pocket, right? Phone numbers and directions are important. Do a Google search for directions to your place, because that's how people are going to find you unless you've got it out there. I've come to some really good websites for trainers, because we know as you get to the country, Google says turn left and there ain't a road. We've been to horse shows like that, right? And you got to get out there and make sure that Google's giving the right directions to your property. If it doesn't, say so on your website. Hey, if you try and go search this through one of your maps programs, it's going to take you here and you need to go here, right? You can even put a little map on your website. That's free too. So I did just a local search. I used to live in Kentucky, so I used a horse trainer, Lexington, Kentucky. That's as specific as I got, right? 270,000 results. And if you're not on the first page, you don't exist, right? It's not enough to have something out there. You've got to have something out there that works. You got to know what they're looking for, and you're competing against everybody on this list. And if you're not on the first page, they won't find you. Okay, here's a tip. Show people on your website. When you go to your website, is there a human face on that first page? Because as much as we love horses and beautiful barns and green pastures, people do business with people. They want to see happy people. They want to see happy horses. So it doesn't matter if you've got a breeding stallion, or if you're giving lessons, or if you're a clinic. Show what you do, and show people being happy with what you do, right? It's a big sales point. It works. I'm going to show you all kinds of research that shows this. Your staff. Make sure you show your staff that's happy. Show your horses are happy. We talked about welfare. Eleanor was up here this morning. Show what you do best. If somebody who doesn't know anything about you goes to your website, do they know what goods and services you're trying to provide? I can tell you based on this, no. You might think so, but if somebody who doesn't know you gets on your website, do they know what you're trying to provide? What you got for sale? They can't buy it if they don't know what you're trying to sell, right? Okay, nonverbal communication. I can do a whole talk on this one too. This one's fun. laughing at me. Smile when you're talking on the phone. I don't care if you just got your foot stepped on, you just had a fight with your wife, if you play 16th in a show where the judge is so blind they don't know what they're doing. If somebody calls you about business, before you answer that phone, you go, "Hi, this is Kim." They can hear that. And it reminds you, let it go right now, right? They can hear that. Because if you answer the phone, I'm going to get real close. Yeah. Ooh, I don't want to do business with that person. Oh, you know, what's that going to be like every day? Anytime you write in a positive language. It means in your texts, social media, your website. Understand what nonverbal cues you're giving to somebody, right? So, I apologize for him, but okay, so verbal and nonverbal cues really quick. You're horse people. You understand how to read body language, right? Put the same thing into effect with people when you're meeting them. If you meet somebody and they're doing this, they're closed off. They're hiding their hands, they're crossing their arms, they're putting up that barrier. You do the same thing. So when you go to meet somebody, it's very unnatural for us to stand with our thumbs on our seams. This is a very open, welcoming posture. Alright? Guys, when you go in and you're comfortable, and you get back like that, right? That's great. It shows you're comfortable. It shows you're arrogant. Be careful of that. Especially if you're dealing with people that are of a certain gender and age. Right? You gotta keep these things in mind. It's horses. You guys should be better at this than anybody in the world. Because you can walk into a stall and you know if that horse is going to be good that day or not, right? Because they're going to go, "Yeah, let's go do it," or they're going to go, right? Do the same thing with people. It's important. You guys should be exceptional at this. Body language is important. This picture over here was during the Cold War. These guys got captured by Northern Korea. Now, I don't know if you can see it from where you're sitting, but we have lots of flying birds in this picture. The North Koreans actually noticed this before they published. This was supposed to show how well these guys were being treated and how happy they were being captives of North Korea, right? And so they're all flipping the bird off. And when the Koreans actually caught this before they published the picture, and they had all come up with this story. "Oh no, that's the Hawaiian good luck sign." By the way, these guys were severely beaten and punished when they found out, but they published this picture. Body language is important. Remember I said show your happy staff? If Frank, who mows your grass and does your maintenance, doesn't like his picture taken, don't take his picture. I don't know if you notice what Frank's doing, he's flying the bird too. Be careful. People notice what are in photos, okay? Remember to say thank you. Pretty simple. Somebody calls you, you don't end up doing business with them. Thanks for calling, appreciate it. That leaves a good taste in their mind when they're done talking to you, right? Okay, we're going to go through a few of these really quickly. Facebook. How many have Facebook? How many people have posted on your Facebook once a week for the last year? Okay. No. Go look at your Facebook. Some of you are really good. Some of you rate, yeah. Some of you have done an excellent job. You're showing your students. You're showing the last horse show. You're talking about your clinics. You're showing the horses on the farm. It's just great. Some of you who have a Facebook, it'd be better not to have one than have 950 people following you on your Facebook and never putting anything up. You know, don't do it unless you're going to do it well. So, I'm going to go through lots of statistics. There's tons of people out there on Facebook. Facebook is, believe it or not, the fastest growing population on Facebook looks like me. We first got on it because that's where our kids and grandkids were, and then they left it because that's where we got on. But we're on there, right? So what do your clients look like? I don't know if any of you watch The Voice. I don't do the Blake Shelton thing real well, but a lot of your people have a certain age and gender, and those are the people who have spare time and money. We like those people. We want them to come play with us. Okay. One of the things you need to know is highest traffic. That's not necessarily true of horse people, though. I'm just saying. How long people stay on there? How many, I mean, there's just tons of statistics. What I want to let you know is, did you know that if you have two kinds of Facebooks, business and personal, if you have a business Facebook, you can set it up so that you can get information, just like we did with Google. You can see what's working on your Facebook. You can see how page likes, reach, posts, what's going on, right? How many people are on there? You can set it by date. Hey, did me putting the picture up of the kid with the big happy smile on the pony do better than me showing myself in a raining, winning, what's working for me? Or did the little, cat rubbing up against the horse's leg in the barn do the best? You never know. You can look. They tell you. Shows you what your reach is, what your engagement, that means how many people liked it or shared it, depending on what you want to do. Remember on your Facebook, if you have a Facebook, make sure and link it back, do the about, so that it gives your website. Why is your website more important than Facebook? You own your website. Facebook changes their mind a lot about what they do and don't do. Your posts go up to anywhere between 6% and 20% of the people who follow you. So you think you've got 1,000 people following you and you put a post up, you think 1,000 people are seeing it. No. Facebook gets to decide all the rules. You just have to play by them. So that's why your website's so important. Facebook is great. Social media is great. YouTube, videos, all the rest of it, but your website is you. That's where you want to send people. YouTube. It's so simple when you got that little computer on your hip all the time to be able to do a little video. It doesn't have to be big, doesn't have to be much, but you can do a lot of videos. Christy could probably teach you about doing videos. They do a lot of really nice, little short, they're not complicated, and they get lots of views. I mean, there was someone in here, and I'm not going to go through everybody, but that had a YouTube channel that did a really good job doing lessons and talking about things. And it made me want to buy the DVD. That's why you do it, just so they spend money with you, right? Okay? Okay, 4 billion video views a day. You want a piece of that action. Okay? Pinterest. Horses are very great in images. We carry a little computer on our pocket all the time that can take those and put them up. It's just a great way, and you can see, if you have a Pinterest, which is just basically posting photos that you can then add a link to and send it back to your website. Why? Because you own the website and you can sell your story there. Right? 100 million users, here's one. 71% are female. What do your potential clients look like? And it may not. I mean, maybe you've got a clientele that's mostly men. So maybe Pinterest wouldn't be a great place for you. Unless their wives want them out of the house and they say, hey, honey, I saw this and you need to go over here. Okay, Twitter. I mean, basically you can link your Facebook, so every time you post something on Facebook, it automatically goes to Twitter, so you don't ever have to touch it. Did you know that? There's some people that love Twitter. Easy way to do it. There's millions of active users. There's about 280 followers per person. And there's 44% of people out there who have accounts but have never posted a tweet. That means they're just out there reading stuff. Right? LinkedIn. This is one. How many people in here give clinics or get paid to be a judge? Okay. You're the guys that should be on LinkedIn. Why? This is a business-to-business, a professional organization. You can get to know the person who's the head of the Quarter Horse Association in Chile, maybe at one of these conventions, and then hook up with them on LinkedIn, and next thing you know, you may be going down there to judge a show or give a clinic. Same thing, how did they get to know you in California? Maybe you hooked up with the fellow that's with the California Quarter Horse Association and went out and did a clinic, and suddenly, California is one of your biggest followers. And you may give more clinics or judge more shows, right? LinkedIn is a business professional network. It's growing. I actually know a lot about this. When I was running my own business, I was in the top 1% of LinkedIn users and profiles when I was focusing on it. Didn't take that much. So it's a good thing to do, and I'm hooked up with a lot of people that are in this room. So One of the other ways is jobs. A lot of students and grads, the younger people are getting into this because they see it as a way to give their potential resume to people that they don't even know. And again, you can go and do searches on this like you can everything else, and you can put quarter horse in there and come up with a whole list of people you've never ever heard of, and see if there's people in there you want to get to. There's, AQHA's got a LinkedIn page. So it's professional networking. So if you sell your services, if you have stallion studs because you can ship semen anywhere, that still might be a good reason. Think about how you only have so much time. What's going to work for you? This is a partial list of the types of social media that exist. You can't do them all. Pick what works for you. Figure out where your clients are and go play there. Right? You can do blogs or vlogs. Unfortunately, there's a couple of people here who have blogs, and when was the last time you actually posted on it? Okay? Don't do it if you're not going to keep it up. People get on your website, and if they see old stuff, they're not going to be real impressed with you. It's better to not have it than not keep it up. Same thing. News. This is a big one for a lot of people in this room. Go to your website, click on your news tab, and if you haven't done anything on there since 2011, 2013, take it down. Or do something else on that page, right? It does nothing for your reputation to say, I have news, and there's either nothing there or it's old. Especially if it's on your home page, it doesn't say a lot about you. Press releases. Okay, so what did you do? Did you know you can go home and send out a press release that you attended this business meeting? That you attended the AQHA convention? And your local paper will probably pick it up. They like that little human interest kind of stuff. But you got to give it to them, right? Press releases are so simple, and people don't use them much anymore, which makes them even more valuable because it's an easy way to reach out. Basically, I can tell you that if you go to stablemanagement.com, which is one of the publications that I run, you can go on there and do a search for press release template, and it basically has all the holes, so you can just fill it in. But do this. Why not? It may lead to the paper doing an article on you, or an article on your stallion, or your student program, or your clinics. That's free advertising, guys, to people who can drive to your place. It's a good thing. Okay, online education. There's several people in here who have DVDs, who have videos and blogs, and do things that are online education. You have to decide if it works for you or not, right? Embrace your technology. Again, you're carrying around that computer that you can do most of this on. And if you don't want to do this, then find somebody in your organization who can. Don't assign it to the intern. Whoever represents you has to understand who you are and what you do and what your values are. Because if your intern gets up and starts posting these little cutie things on your Facebook, and that's not who you are, and they might post something that really isn't who you are, you got to be careful of that. You need to take this seriously. And it's better to not do it than to do it badly. Okay, how many people in here have an email that is not your website, your business name? It's Gmail, it's Hotmail, it's your phone company, it's your Verizon server or whatever. There's no reason to do that. It's very cheap. It may not be free, but it's very cheap to have an email that is bob@bobsmithsquarterhorses.com. And doesn't that look better than bob369@gmail.com? In the mind of your users. Okay. An app. I mean, there's not a lot of people in here that want to develop an app. Some of you might want to do it. But you need to know what's out there because your competitor down the road might have one. So I just did an app. I went into the app store and said, horse training. There are 126 of them. I'm not a horse trainer. I don't know if any of them are any good or not, but you might want to look at it. You might get in there and that might become a new revenue stream for you. 99 cents a download. Okay, survey. Have you ever done a survey of your clients? Have you ever asked them what they think anonymously? Anybody ever surveyed their clients? A couple. That's good. This is free. It's called SurveyMonkey. You sign up for it, put a database in there. This is why you collect emails from all of your clients, right? Database, and they have to agree to it, right? You send it, this is totally anonymous. So you might be thinking, gosh, I'm given 4 clinics a year, that's all I need to do. And your clients may be, I'd like to have a clinic a month. Maybe you want to do that, maybe you don't. You have to decide. Again, I'm not going to read what it says down at the bottom, but that is so true, okay? Never assume. Ask. Figure it out. Give them a way to get to you the information that they would like you to have from them. Okay, get involved. You will always get back more out of something that you volunteer for than you ever put into it. And I tell this especially a lot to young people when I talk to college classes at the University of Kentucky. I used to give a lot of talks to the seniors. You will always get more out of something. But you know what? You're in business. You're business people. So brag about it. Get out there and let people know, because this is business, guys. And if you're out there and you're doing a program for the local 4-H club, do your little press release to the newspaper and say, hey, we did this and here's a picture. Aren't they having fun? Be a little careful taking pictures of kids, because you can't actually do that without their parents' permission, and you can take them from the back. But, I mean, it gets you business. Newsletters are very easy to do these days. Again, if you get a MailChimp, you can do it. Brand ambassadors. If you sat and thought about one of your clients who just loves you and loves what you do, they're not related to you, but you know that they have really gotten a lot out of what you've done. Those are a brand ambassador. Those are people who say nice things about you to other people when you're not around. Okay? Brand ambassadors. You want to do the care and feeding of your brand ambassadors. All your clients are not created equal, and don't treat them that way. You're going to have some clients that are going to make you money because they're out there saying, oh my gosh, Bob Smith, I just love his horses, I love his trainers, I love his studs, I love his staff. If you're going to be in this discipline, you need to have Bob, I don't know why you'd go anywhere else. I don't care if you have to drive 50 miles, you need to go to Bob's place, right? If you know those people, help them. Be willing to give them some information, say, and ask them, hey, if I'm getting ready to have a clinic, ask those brand ambassadors, hey, could you help me spread the word? You know what? You'll suddenly have more people in your clinic. It's amazing. And all you have to do is ask, right? Upsell ethically. It doesn't mean hide things or do things. But if you have clients who like what you do, are there other things you do that client could be taking advantage of? Your best clients are the people already doing business with you. Your best clients are the ones already doing business with you. They will buy more stuff from you if you give them the opportunity. So if you have lessons and you're not giving clinics, maybe you should give clinics. If you're doing clinics 4 times a year, maybe you should do them 6 times a year. If you're, a very popular judge in California, maybe you need to be judging more shows in California and bleeding over into Nevada a little bit. Okay? Okay, everybody had a bad day in here? Yeah. You have to be really careful not to let that spill over into your business. Your business persona is different from who you are individually. You represent your business and your brand every time you're out someplace. You have to have this same rule for your staff. I don't care if somebody came in late at night and they had to unload the trailer and be there at midnight and didn't get out of there till 2 a.m. and have to be there at 6 o'clock the next morning. That's the job. When clients come in at 8, smile, right? You got to make this part of what your culture is in your business. Okay, this is the one thing everybody hates. If I have social media, people will say bad things about me there, right? Everybody's worried about that, and it probably will happen. I mean, it's a place we see cyberbullying out there. It can happen in the professional industry. The great thing is, I would much rather have them get on my playground and say something there where I know about it than be saying it someplace else where I don't know about it and can't do anything about it, right? And what do you do about it? You respond to every single one of them after taking deep breaths and smiling, right? Sometimes the best solution, if somebody gets on Facebook and says, man, Bob was judging this show and he's blinder than a bat and he can't, he tripped over his own feet 6 times and I doubt he could sit on a horse to ride it across the arena. I don't know why he's judging. That's not going to be that bad. But they get on there and they post it on your social media, or you find it on a social media. What you should do is say, I'm really sorry you feel that way. Here's my cell phone number. Message me, call me, and let's talk about this because I'd like to know how I can be better at my job and what upsets you. Now, after all that's done, here's where a lot of people are good at that. They're good at going in and putting oil out there in the waves, kind of calm down. Afterwards, you have to remember to go back out here, and a lot of times you'll ask these same people, and you start talking to these guys, and they were just looking for a way to blow some steam off, right? And unfortunately, they get heard by a lot of people because their 100 best friends heard it, who shared it with their 100 best friends, and pretty soon somebody comes up and goes, well, oh gosh, are you going to quit judging? No, wow, I heard that you were quitting judging because, you're so bad and you can't stand up in an arena or whatever. You were drunk again, whatever. You never know what's going to be out there. But have that person, a lot of times, if you will ask them, well, Susan, now that we've solved this, would you be willing to go back on that same social media and say, look, Bob and I talked about this and I kind of overreacted? Most of the time they'll do it. They don't want to be seen as not being nice people. As many people won't see the good stuff as see the bad stuff. And that's just the price you pay of doing business. Okay, so enough on that. Handle them immediately. Nobody wants to have to go up and talk to somebody who's mad at them. Do it right then. And I will give you another tip. If you're talking to somebody who's angry, you need to soften their tone. You ever seen the kids' toys, those icky things that you throw against the wall and they kind of ooze down the wall? They don't bounce, they don't do. That's what you need to be. You need to be that kind of material. So somebody throws something at you, it doesn't go bouncing all over the place, and you start getting angry and puffing up and giving them the whatever. You need to just kind of drop that demeanor down. Guess what? You're a horseman. You already know how to do this with horses. Because if you've got a young colt out there that's going, you're not going to go, what are you doing? That's going to solve the problem, right? No, you're going to, drop down. You're going to give them a less offensive demeanor. Do that with people. A lot of times horse people reserve the best of ourselves for horses. It's good for business if you take some of those skills and use them on the people around you. Okay. Networking. I love to talk about networking. You are in a place here that you need to set yourself a goal before you go home that you will have touched somebody here, exchanged information, who can help you grow your business. That's a challenge. You can do this. It may be the person sitting next to you. It may be somebody you've never heard of. You go back and you say, hey honey, can you look on my Facebook and let's see where most of our people are coming to? And you're in Texas and they're in California. So you may come up to Patty and say, hey Patty, who's the leader of the California Quarter Horse Association? I'd like to talk to him. Right? Network. It's good for business. It's work. It has that word in it. It's not hiding. But this is what I like to say. Most lucky people, because everybody goes, oh, he's so lucky. That's like becoming an overnight sensation after playing in bars for 30 years. I'm married to a musician, right? But they put themselves in the position of getting opportunities, smart enough to recognize the opportunities, and gutsy enough to act on them. Because sometimes it's like, I'm in Texas, that's California. I don't know if I want to, that's going to be expensive to travel, and I don't know if I'm going to get anything out of it. And sometimes you got to just kind of take the chance. It's part of your job. If you're in business, networking is part of your job. It's one reason LinkedIn is really good. It's not easy. So, I'm, again, challenging you to go out and find somebody. And here's your, remember lucky. You look for it, you use your network, you contact people, you keep talking. Because how many times have you talked to a person and they immediately make the decision right then to either breed to your stud or come and buy a horse from you or whatever? It usually takes more than one conversation, right? Be persistent. Pleasantly persistent is what I call it. And you're important. You are leaders in your industry. People are looking to do business with you. You got to let them do that. Stablemanagement.com, I've got to get a plug here. I think it's a free website. The magazine's free. It only comes out twice a year right now. We just bought this a few years ago. It's something I loved when it used to be a 12-time-a-year magazine. And there's a lot of useful business information on this website that you can go and get. So it's pretty easy to get to. So the take-home message, you're in business. Your business is to solve problems. Your business is to solve problems. I don't know who to breed my mare to. I need a judge for the clinic. My kid needs lessons. I need a horse trained. I need to buy that next horse to take me up to the next level. People have problems, and marketing, that's all it is. I have the solution to your problem. And that's all people are looking for. So you need to put yourself in that position and think about your business in that way. So you just got 30 tips. I hope you picked up one or two that are useful to you. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them now, or you can get in touch with me. That's my email. Thank you.